Let me get this straight. There's a bartering going on in the chat for how late I'm allowed to be. And then on top of that, the one time I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna be late. The sponge is nowhere to be found. What? Ah! This is so odd. Mm. So I figured you don't get to say that, Choco. You were late too. And you misspelled one. I have a little something for you guys as a small apology. Who wants to see baby photos and kid photos of me? My dad unearthed these from whatchamacallit, from the garage. They were my grandmother's, apparently. So if you guys want, we can share in childhood photos of mine, which are very rare because most of my childhood photos got destroyed. So first of all, this is me at 11 years old. As you can see, I haven't changed at all. Like, I literally look the same. And that's me with my little, right there on my pin. I used to wear a anti-abortion pin. These are little feet of a 13-week-old fetus. I don't know if you can really see it, but right there on my chest. Like, I literally, I hit puberty and I just stopped aging. Here's me at, I want to say I'm 4. I'm about the same age in this photo as well. Oh my god, no fighting! So this is me at my, I think it's my birthday party. And I was like 3 or 4. This is in my grandmother's house. And this is me. I want to say that's an Easter, only because I'm judging by the, no, this was New Year's. Okay, this is New Year's. I can tell because of the cracker in the background. That's those little pop crackers you can get. And this is one of my favorite dresses when I was little. This is from the same day. I was trying to kiss Mickey Mouse. That's my grandmother. It's my brother. And that's me unwrapping my presents. This is me and my brother on my grandmother's back porch. Like, when I tell you guys, I was skinny for most of my life. Most of my little childhood, I really wasn't that. I wasn't big at all. I was a little itty bitty bean. This was my mother. Circa 19... Judging by the outfit, I'd say 94, 95. I remember this outfit. This was me and my brother. This is me and my dad, but this photo got torn up. In preschool, this is me and my dad. There's a better version of this photo, but this is me and my brother in front of... If you guys watched my short about me not being able to read till 3rd grade, this was the school. It was a private school where I couldn't read. This was me getting bedtime Barbie. I was quite happy. I don't know when this... This had to be Easter, judging by the baskets. So this all must have been an Easter. We only did this kind of like, major photos. So there I am again. Mind you, this is when I got horribly bullied for being huge. Okay? So I want you to think about it. Look how tiny I am, and I was the fat kid. This was me dancing in my grandmother's backyard. Me and my step-grandfather. Me and my brother goofing around. This is me. I was already being remarked on needing to lose weight. This was the first time I heard morbidly obese. So I want you to see. That's me. Okay? In the plaid dress. That was the first time I was told I was morbidly obese. So these are repeat photos. Let's see, repeat photo. Yeah. Morbidly obese. This is, again, this is when I was morbidly obese. That's me, my mom, and my grandma. Oh, this was me on my favorite couch, passed out. I loved that couch at my grandma's house. Just like, guys, when you hear people say that I was fat my whole life, this was it. In this photo, I weigh 160 pounds. But do I look fat? No. And yes, they were Ruby. I think they were Barbie jellies, if I'm correct. Me thinking I was doing something by cheering with a glass of water. These had to be from the same day, judging by the composition and everything. This is Philip and I being Philip and I. And that's us with my grandmother and step-grandfather. I'm making a very... You really can't see on this camera, but my eyes are like huge in that photo. Me unwrapping a gift. Oh, this is the one's gonna get me canceled. Starts on eating. My grandmother pulled me aside, and these were all buried in my dad's garage. It is a lot of photos. They all got buried in the garage, and my dad was like, do you want them? I was like, well, I have no childhood photos, so yes. And so the most part my grandmother liked to take photos when she was giving gifts, so that way she could remind us of all the things she gave us. Okay, these ones in today's society would be considered inappropriate. I used to run around half naked, as you saw in the one of me dancing in the background, and my grandma was just chasing us around taking photos. But it's similar to these photos. It's like, right, because I had none. Like, I only had like about 10 or 12 childhood photos. So like I was which half? I was wearing like a little slip and little shorty shorts because I didn't like wearing clothes and I didn't like wearing shoes. Let me tell you something, guys. See this porch? This patio? This thing was a death trap. So I don't know if you can tell what it is. It's all polished marble and granite. See all this? All of this? Polished marble and granite. And we lived in New England, okay? So Rhode Island gets really bad snow. Do you want to know how difficult it is walking on this in the rain, in the ice? We would bust our asses all the time on this thing. And I'm getting feelings at that because I was told I was fat when I was around, I was put on Ritalin. See, I wasn't on any medication. It was, literally, guys, it was a slow burn for me to gain the weight that I have today. The most weight I put on was after I moved to the South, in all honesty. Right around naked hair is pretty common too. What's that teenage? Right. So I was in love with Michelangelo, as you can see by my very happy face right here. It's my brother's birthday, but I was the one most excited. Surprised you didn't break your hip. Let me tell you something. I remember when I put on for ADHD, and the doctors also told my folks that it helped me not be as fat. God. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this was me up until about age 8. I was either 8 or 9. This is me about age 7. I'm recognizing the haircut. I'm looking for... This is me at around... I want to say this is me at 9. And then 11. I look at pictures of myself in the era, and I don't think I was fat. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. But by the standards, I was. I mean, my mom is smaller there than I am now. She was considered gigantic. My mom in this photo maybe weighs 230 pounds. She's at least half my size. And we're about the same age. Because I'm about 9 in that photo. My mom had me at 31. So we're not that far off in age. My mom was in her 30s in this photo. They want you to be anorexic. I think so. Because where's... See here? At this one, I weighed like 160. They said I had to weigh 115. And the thing is, guys, if you see me in real life, I have a lot of muscle. I mean a lot of muscle. Like, every time I swell from working, because I have my, I work at the restaurant, which is partly why it's going to be a short one today, because I'm exhausted. And we have so much planning we have to get done. Next week, we have 2 events on the same day. And then after that, there's a festival in town that we have to prepare for. It's a whole thing. I think doctors want... See, the thing is, they never did with me, Marianne. It was weird. They never pushed medication on me. No. Instead, what they would push is my mom to put me on a diet. But the thing is, you guys have to realize something. I've told you multiple times. I was an exceedingly picky eater back then. I was terrified to eat half the food that my parents ate because my brother would convince me it was made of bugs or body fluids or something. And the other half of me just wasn't interested in most foods because of my IBS. Because my mom didn't know, like, nobody really understood what IBS was. My mom was convinced that I was like a hypochondriac. And I can literally tell you, she told me point blank for years that I was wrong. I couldn't possibly have IBS and I was being a hypochondriac. So let me tell you something. The day that I went to my doctor, because I had spent a month notating how many times I went to the bathroom and, everything was, I want to say I was 28, 29. And because I had self-diagnosed, my mom was like, Cassandra, that's not a thing. You are not someone that has it. My mom would always say that, and she admitted to me around my 30th birthday that the reason she did that is, I guess, because in her mind, if I had any kind of defect, it was a negative reflection on her. She actually said it to me once. And I was like, it's not how it works, Mom. Like, you can't just say, oh, that's not true, and it's suddenly not true. That's not how this thing works. But yeah, I remember coming home, and I went to my mom's house, and I was like, hey, bitch, guess who's got fucking IBS? And she was like, oh, okay, Cassandra. Like, whenever my mom was proven wrong like that, she was always like, all right, whatever. That's just how she was. So, but yeah, I will say that the medical industry, I absolutely agree with some of the things that the Popo says, that yes, they were extreme. Absolutely. I'll never deny that. I know, because I'm a product of it. I was picky too. I think it was that we didn't eat a lot of different seasonings. Oh no, my parents cooked a lot of stuff. Oh my God, no. My mom and dad, see, that was actually something that I complained about, Myriad. I complain about that at the business that I work in now, that I get very upset that a lot of people really were not introduced to different foods. Like a lot of people really don't understand. This was Jellyfish Dreams. We'll finish that today. I'm picky with food too. I hate oatmeal. See, but you don't have to technically eat oatmeal. Like, because the thing is, a lot of folks that don't like oatmeal either don't like it because of the fibers in it, or because of the whatchamacallit. Oh, excuse me. They either don't like oatmeal because of the fibers in it, or because of the fact that when they eat it, it doesn't digest quite properly. And yeah, it's also a texture thing as well. College fixed the pickiness. Oh, and have you guys seen what my chin looks like? I look like hot shit, but hold on, let me see if I can show you. You see that? Orion punched me again. So I got a nice fancy bruise on my chin. He hit me. And the thing is, guys, I didn't know it was there. Right, it's getting bigger. Like, if you go look at my so in June, he did it as well, but it wasn't as visible. And he didn't even hit me as hard, guys. Like, no, he got excited because he had been in the cage all day. Because we attaboy. I'm about to time you out. How about that? So he had been in the crate all day because Starman and I had a lot to do. And are you sure he didn't break a blood vessel? No, like when I tell you the hit was not hard, look at my arm. This is all from work. I have been bruising. Hi, Big T Bariatric guys. You know how, like I said with Kayla Shea, have you gotta go watch her? Go watch Big T Bariatric. Guy's got some great takes. He's on a weight loss journey himself. Nice to see you in the chat, man. But yeah, look, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's stress because I've been pretty stressed this week. But like the lightest touch. Look at this. Pots and pans hitting my arm. No, I'm sorry. This is the sink. Cause see how it's like in a little right angle. This is me while I'm doing the dishes, hitting my arm on the side of the sink. You can't time out a mod. You need to turn off your stream, unmod me, and we both know you don't have the kind of, you know what? I don't appreciate that tone, Bubbly. I don't appreciate your tone, young man. Easy bruising is a sign. But see, it was only one day. And that one day, bro, I was hitting it. It was bad. And now I'm fine. Now I'm not bruising at all. Also, my arms breaking out from the gloves being on too long. It's ridiculous, guys. Because literally Saturday, guys, I actually have a small point of pride. I got there at 4. I clocked in at 4:30. I did not sit until 6:28. And then I stood up again 5 minutes later, and I stood for the rest of the time I was there. It was that busy at work. You can also rub gold on your skin, and if it leaves a green residue, you're anemic. Let me just go get some gold. Now I'm fine. It's black and blue by your own hands. Girl, you... Technically, the sink did this. I was attacked by the sink. Hi, Esteban. Hi, Rachel. But yeah, so it was... And then again, I had a meeting yesterday with another restaurant in the area because we're doing a collaboration. And the whole time I'm thinking, please, because she had 2 little kids with her. And I'm like, please, please, please don't notice the bruise on my chin and think something's, please, don't. Oh, God, Penny's calling me. Oh, this child. No, you attacked the sink. It just defended itself. And I will say it's a skin issue. Like, I'm not going to show you because it's kind of gross. But on my stomach, because my shirt gets soaking wet from the washing the dishes, I have a big eczema psoriasis patch. So, yeah, it's been a... I abused myself this week, guys. Hi, Orion. Hi, baby boy. The dog pushed me down. The dog pushed you down the stairs? Okay, yours is worse than what happened to me. Choco, I think I modded you guys at the same time. All right, wait. Everyone wants to see you. See, even he's wondering what Penny's yelling about. Hold on, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go see what Penny's screaming about. Because she is eating again. But now she has taken to hiding on top of the fridge. Which is good and bad. I'll be right back. What, Greta? Let's go see. You guys are trying to trip me? What the fuck is this? I'm coming. I'm coming. What? What? Have food. Is it? Will you get? Yes. Okay, I'm on it. Oh. What? Come here. You're not getting any fried food. No. What? I am on stream. Get 12 bucks now, sir. Get water and that's it. Sorry. You'll have to wait till later on tonight, missus. Excuse me. Coming through. Bye-bye. She ate a full meal. She wants me to give her more food. It ain't fucking happening. At least she's not nesting in the piss couch. Accurate, Raven. Very accurate. But she still goes in there at night. We stopped heating the house as much during the winter. And the cat is not... She's screaming at me again. Oh, and guys, last night... Guys... There was a raccoon fight. In my carport. I'm sitting here. I'm playing Horizon. I was trying to... What's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to relax. Ease the stress. All of a sudden, I hear this crash behind me. It was like this drag of nails. And this crash. And I'm like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, I hear... And I hear, like, bodies hitting the wall. And I'm like, bro, I don't know who won. By the time I heard about it, they were already gone. And I'm like, do I want to really get up and see the aftermath when I don't? I know they're all going to be gone. Decompress. Exactly, Derp. Decompress. Because I've been, as many of you know, me and Starman are just coming out of a really bad financial point due to some issues. And we're just easing back into being okay again. So I was white knuckled for a solid like 3 months. And now I'm like, now the only problem is my YouTube is suffering as a result because on my time off, I have not been editing the videos. I've got like 8 videos sitting that just haven't been edited. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I can only put my energy in so many places, you know? Fight for your squatters' rights as fuzzy dumpster ninjas. Fun fact, it's legal to own a dumpster panda as a pet in Canada. Yeah, you can in some states in America. You can't in North Carolina, though. And see, the thing is, our dumpster is closed. We throw the food they're allowed to eat on the side in the woods, so that way it, one, it'll compost into the dirt, and two, so that way we keep there's a raccoon, there's a possum, and there's several stray cats that I'm trying to keep in the area because they do a really good job of pest control. I also keep the chickens coming around my property as a result, which, by the way, the chickens have laid a new clutch of chicks, and there's like 30 chicks, or there were 30 chicks. There were the neighborhood cats, and they've been picking them off one by one. It's so sad. Honestly, the Starman OF needs an upgrade. Some new chains. Oh, and speaking of Canada Broadcasting Act is going into law in June, so a lot of us Chinadians might disappear from. I've heard about this. Sorry, I've been struggling financially. I legitimately think poverty is traumatic. Been struggling myself lately. Don't sleep at night. I can sleep a little too well. That's partly why I'm so tired. The more stressed I am, the more I want to nap. That's a habit that really came about during the pandemic, and now it's I mean, I'll tell you what, it's definitely better than drugs. But no, it's an unfortunate series of events coupled on with, like, you know, Biden. But what are you gonna do? Being poor, in my opinion, as someone who has been poor quite a lot, if you have the right, what's the word I'm looking for? If you have the right base in your life, and what I mean by that is you were raised to be strong, you're on your way out of it, though. Exactly. Choco, thank you. I don't know what to do. She's being so nice to me. It's official now, though. It's been written into law via royal order. I know. I am worried for a lot of you Canadians because shit's getting weird over there. Hope it gets better soon, Optimist. What's happening with that? Wait a minute. What's going on, Optimist? Let me look up. Oh, there it is. That's depression. Sleeping to compensate for the stress. My mom passed and left me all her debt, so it's not even that I'm poor because I made bad choices, which makes me so effing angry. See, it was depression, but now it's just when I'm stressed. It's just really, again, it's cheaper than anything else. Imagine losing your mom and inheriting $25,000 worth of someone else's debt. Ugh. I definitely understand. I left for 2 minutes. What the hell happened? We started going over just different things. But yeah, so as a result, guys, I am exhausted. Plus, I'm doing more labor than I've done in a long time. And just some personal things as well. But obviously those I'm not going to talk about. And so they stressed me out enough where I've just been like, you know what? I'm going to take a break. But I did crack a code. So before, if I would miss doing a video, my videos would just drop in views completely. Oh my god, yeah. Esteban, let me tell you something, guys. I have learned there are a lot of people, you guys really don't understand what YouTube financially does and doesn't do. And because, like, I heard someone say the other day, they remarked on a YouTuber I know. I won't say who, because obviously that's revealing their financial status. But they were like, yeah, this person makes millions. And I'm like, they only have 200,000 subscribers. No, they don't. They do not make millions. And no, honey, disappointed. It's okay. If you need to vent. You go right ahead. But I'm only being nice because I need chocolate and I ran out. Oh, so chocolate makes you mean. I got you. But yeah. What was I saying? They really do believe that if you have 200,000 subs on YouTube, you're gonna be making buco bucks. The only way you make millions on YouTube is you have to be like, you've got to be in the Bailey Sarian, freaking Mr. Beast, Sophia Nagard. Like, you've got to be having millions of followers. No. Back up now. 1, 2. You are not going to roughhouse around this computer. They were standing literally between my black desk and me and all the wires that connect all this. And Orion was trying to yank her by the scruff to play. I'm like, no. Yeah, 200,000 on YouTube is whatchamacallit, is not big at all. Not in today's numbers. Like, in order to get, yeah, I made them take it out of the room, and Orion decided to roughhouse there in the other room. Sponsored is right, and a sponsor, guys. Sponsors don't give them a lot. Like, you gotta understand, they get paid per ad. So they have to make the ad. Motherfucker, you are not coming back over here and starting this shit again. Hey, look at me. I said no. You can chill out right now, sir. Okay? You can puff all you want. Sit. Orion. What do we do? What do we do? You really should never repeat a command to a dog, guys, because then they start thinking the command has to be repeated in order to be obeyed. I'm trying to calm this creature down. I am drawing mermaid, jellyfish dreams. And I've already broken, I realize now, I have broken my rule that I usually do for mermaid. And I always do it the first 2 days, and then after that, I'm great. Good boy. God almighty. I'll sponsor you if my business ever takes off. Oh, thank you, disappointed. What do we do with a drunken sailor? I have specific commands for the dogs. And it just, I play off of how I talk. And so with the dogs, when I say, what do we do? That they know that means they've got to sit and wait. Greta? No, back up. I do not need him tempted. Sit. Don't give me that face. What do we do? Good girl. Relax. As you can see, Greta listens much better. Orion will when he's not. This bitch, she stood right back up, though. You better not lure him over, young lady. Do some of you here draw? There's a couple of artists in here. They wait till you're distracted. They absolutely do. Well, because see, the thing is, like, so again, like I was saying the other day, when Orion bruised my chin, Matt and I have not been home. I have been working. We've been trying to prepare for stuff. I'm very excited because in May, I get a week off. Starson needs an OnlyFans, but just tells the viewers they are pervs and shames them. Imagine. Well, I talked to Moon and Choco Hooligan last week about this. I think I'm going to start on my Patreon putting in little vlogs. Like, I'll just sit by and take a camera out and just take a little video and just vent for the camera. And then I'm also thinking, because I can sing a little, I'm thinking of doing singing videos and just putting them on my Patreon. So if you want to see them, they're there. If you don't have to. When our dogs don't behave, we break out the full name. When Buddy didn't work, it was Buddy J Bud Bud. Cat Squatch actually will act lazy and then look over his shoulder as soon as you put a cell phone in front of your face. Axel will actually try to get in front of me and either pull or shove the cell phone away. Only me. He doesn't do it to Starman. No. Nice to know I can recognize some of the people here from Discord. I have the core community I have, which is roughly about 15 to 40 people. That really core community that are always here. They go everywhere with me. I've had them on every single platform, and they're great people, and we have great conversation. And I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have the community that I have. Even Choco was saying, like, because she's been very her and Moon, they both have been very sweet and trying to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and that I'm not stressing myself out, because Choco likes to say that I'm a bit of a machine sometimes and I do too much. And as of late, the machine is having a hard time keeping up. I would like to be writing romance novellas, pseudo B&B retelling in autumn, and I need beta readers. Send me a thing. And, well, you're sweet because you always eat chocolate. Don't go. Okay, this fucking bitch. No. Stressing yourself out. How dare you? You of all people know, sir. And so now I lost my train of thought. Damn it, Chocoholigan. You are what you eat, right? I don't take any days off. I don't have days off. This is technically one of my days off, and I'm working still. Because I'm doing this, and then I gotta edit a video and do more artwork. So no, days off don't exist. They don't exist for me. Yesterday I went to work. I had to go and have a meeting, and then we had to have a meeting with my boss so that way we could plan for events. I was talking about something, but then you all distracted me with what I was saying. You're full of saints. Starting having a better week than my brother-in-law. Brother and I, he was giving his dog a bath on Sunday. His toilet just split in two? What did he eat? I certainly, but I have a Kickstarter going through summer. Hey, Me either. Days off are a myth right after 40. Her days off are another universe, 1 hour is a day, right? My cats hate it when I'm on the phone. I saw that yesterday and today. Consider that a success. I consider it a success. But yeah, I'm getting a break. I was telling you guys something, but I lost my train of thought. I was remembering something, but it's gone now. See, I am. I'm pulling out the marker. You just can't see, but I'm making artwork. Well, you Taco Bell so hard you straight up split the bowl? I'm just like, damn, what were you doing, sir? And I'm here repping the 199. Derp's always here making sure. But yeah, I've got a very that's what it was. So Chaco was telling me I need to take a break. That's what it was. Thank you, Derp. You actually inadvertently reminded me the way you did it. Um, she was telling me that I need to take a break, that I pushed myself too hard, and I was like, well, I mean, I got to get shit out. She's like, well, just take a week break. Your community, you've got a pretty damn good community. They'll be okay. And I was like, it's not the community I'm worried about, it's YouTube. Well, I broke the code, guys. I broke the code. Shorts. Shorts are easy to do, and I just edit them on TikTok. I will give TikTok this, the Chinese overlords that made it. There's one thing they actually did really well, and I wish that the rest of the I wish Instagram and YouTube and anyone else that lets you produce shorts within the app had as good an editing system as TikTok does. And you're gonna get it, Pluribus, I promise. But the other part of it is, like, some of the opinions I've had, like, you guys, you have no idea how shocked I was that I'm not getting canceled for my teacher short. Let me tell you. Because I have felt negatively towards the teaching profession for a long, long time. A long time. And that's not to say there are no good teachers, because there are good teachers, clearly. And I know for a fact I've got teachers that are my followers, and this is not towards them, because if you're following me, clearly you have some sense of logic in your brain. But many of the teachers that I've grown up with, many of the teachers that I have had the opportunity, and everyone's like, oh, it's just one school. Nay. I went to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I went to 8 different schools. 8 different schools. I'll be honest, I don't watch much of your shorts. You're very articulate when you have time to explain an idea. Also, boasting while I work. Oh, yeah. No, the shorts I'm pretty good on. Most teachers are normal people, and that means they are most likely dog shit. Damn, Ark! Logic, that's funny. I was kidnapped and being held against my will. I agree with you. My mom was a teacher. Damn. I feel bad for your mom. Because clearly she's a good teacher. She made a girl like you, and you're awesome, Natanya. So it has to be that and I said, I was like, I said it in the video. There may be good teachers, but overwhelmingly, they're shit. And do you guys know how that started? Exactly. Thank you, Chaco. They satisfy the YouTube algorithm while I'm trying to catch up. Because I've got some good ones. I've got really good videos coming, guys. And I keep getting more ideas, but especially now that I got a bruise on my chin, I have to wait till the bruise is gone. And before anyone says use makeup, I don't use cover-up, guys. I don't know if you realize this. I don't use any facial makeup except for lipstick and eyeshadow and eyeliner. So, I agree. Even though I go hard at the parents, some of the teachers just choose the profession to get the 3 months of vacation. Exactly. Tenure, right? Nah, someone who's been a TA and a sub, teachers mostly suck. Damn, Rachel. Damn. It's just, I definitely expected to be more canceled for it. Here's why I say that, because guess who is getting canceled for that view? Meghan Trainor. See, Meghan Trainor is pregnant with her second child. And Meghan Trainor, she was on Trisha Paytas's podcast, who Trisha had her coming to Jesus moment, literally. She had her kid and suddenly she stopped being crazy. It's almost like a child makes you better. But, that is something that can get me canceled. It uses your real cam and then you can record this from the snap cam. Wait, what? I'm lost. I find it crazy they're canceling Meghan Trainor for saying that. Right. She said, because Trisha said, are you going to send your child to school or are you going to homeschool? And Meghan said, oh, no, fuck that. Fuck teachers. She said, I'm homeschooling. And everyone was like, oh, of course it's the white privileged woman, as if homeschooling doesn't exist for plenty of black people and other nationalities. Eight schools, though, yeah. Yeah, my mom and dad switched me out of schools a lot for different reasons. I had, how many elementary? I think I had 4 elementary schools. I had 1 preschool, 1 middle school, and 2 high schools. Technically, I had 3 high schools, but I failed out of it before I even got into it. Like, I passed the entrance exam and I was going to go to school. Hi, Greta. I was going to go to school there, but ended up, my grades got so bad. And why did my grades get so bad? Again, if you have not watched the short, I'll tell you the story, guys. And I've told it before, but I'll tell it again. So in 8th grade, my principal, she's dead now, thank God. May the Lord have mercy on her sinful soul. Anyways, my teacher, my principal was a nun, okay? And she hated me. And she hated me because I was my brother's sister. And they'd already denied my brother access to the school because Phil was severe ADHD. Like, it was bad. Like, he was kind of destructive and disruptive, and because Philip is exceedingly intelligent. That's the biggest problem. My brother is a very intelligent man, and he was a very intelligent kid. And when you take a very intelligent kid and you put them around not so intelligent kids, and you put them in schoolwork that does not challenge them, well, just like any intelligent thing, and I hope he doesn't hear this. Jilly, Marion, if you're listening, do not show this to Philip. It's just like when you have a dog, okay? This is why I tell people don't get a working class dog. People don't have to like this statement, but it's true. They're very intelligent and they're bred to be intelligent. And when you take something that's intelligent and you give them no purpose and you make their life too boring, their brain will find ways to not be bored. Okay? And kids are no different. Whether you want to hear it or not, most kids are just like a very intelligent animal at that age. Because they're kids. And when I tell you he did not flourish in most schools because they would not take care of his intellect, that was a true issue. When my mother tried to get him into this school, the principal didn't like mentally retarded kids. And she stated that to my mom. They did not want a child with ADHD in the school. That was too disruptive. It was not conducive to a good learning environment for the other kids. So they would not allow my brother in the school. Well, at the time, my mother had, I think she lied to them about my diagnosis. Or it had changed because I was 3 years younger than my brother. So by the time I got into the school, she had no choice, but she remembered who we were. Obviously, my name was not very common. Knew someone who got married. She took her hubby's name, which was Butt. On your butt. Stop it. I don't believe you. I'm putting that up on screen. I don't believe you. That's terrible. That's true love right there. That's true love. Fix that light. It's a little too direct. Nope, it's a little too indirect. There we go. You better stop, right? And so when I got there, the principal treated me like dirt. She really did. She treated me like absolute dirt. I was getting openly bullied. The teachers never stopped me. Never stopped the bullies. Like, we're talking like one of the kids would walk into the class and go, Cassie! Mind you, that photo I showed you guys earlier, this is what I looked like. Cassie, you gotta suck it in. You're freaking huge. I can't breathe getting through the door. The teacher would hear this. The kids would all laugh. Nothing. Silence. Silence. And so, alas, a divorce now, lost touch with them too. Aww. Like, this is just the stuff that I would go through. And when I got into, it's Bayview, was the premier girls' school in Rhode Island. It was an all-girls school. My mom wanted me to go. Well, I already was a pariah amongst my peers, and men folk didn't like me. The last thing I wanted to do was go to an all-girls school and get no chance with boys, even though I knew I liked girls. That's for me one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to go. Is like, I already thought I liked girls, and I really was kind of trying to not like girls because I didn't like the idea, and I was like, I don't want to be a lesbian. I remember that being one of my thoughts as a kid. I don't want to be a lesbian. Don't send me. And my mom was like, stop it. This is a really good school. It'll teach you a lot. Da 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 da. It's all these things where, and all I kept saying to myself is, it sounds like an expensive school, because it was. My grandmother was supposed to pay for it. And it sounded like it was going to be a lot of stress and a lot of push. I had to keep my grades a certain level, or else I fail out of the school. Like, they would kick you out for not being good enough in the school. And it was just all this pressure started building, and I really didn't want it. My mom really wanted me to go. And when I got in, you could tell my principal was not pleased, because there was not a lot of girls that got in that year to begin with. And out of the 10 or 12 girls that applied from my school, only 3 got in, and I was one of them. Well, I had made a deal with my mother because I really did not want to go to the school. I said, fine, I'll go, but then after that, you don't bug me about anything. I said, if I get into the school, after I get in, you don't ask me about my homework. You leave me alone about chores. I can do whatever I want for a while. My mom said, okay. So, your girl, as soon as I got the acceptance letter, Harvest Moon and Pokemon all day long. I read up every book I could. I drew all the time. I played video games, and I was left alone. So I was thrilled. Well, unbeknownst to me and my mother, my principal had already told the teaching staff that she did not want me to pass the year. Now, why didn't she want me to pass the year? Well, if I didn't pass the year, I couldn't get into the high school. And if I couldn't get into the high school, that made her very happy. So she had a whole meeting. We can't Harvest Moon. She's not ready yet. So we had a whole meeting. They had a whole meeting about me, about all the 8th grade kids. And when she sat everyone down, she said, I do not want Cassandra to pass. She is to fail. That's what she told them. Now, how do I know this? Because you're sitting here saying, Starson, it's kind of odd that you know all this. Well, here's what happened. Because if you think I'm a bitch, you guys never met my mother. And my mother got my report card. And she got the letter from St. Mary's telling her that my grades were no longer good enough to be in there. And my mother was wondering why 3 months in, the teachers hadn't said shit. So she cornered the youngest and most vulnerable and the only one that was nice to me. And she dragged him into a closet by the collar of his shirt. And she threatened him. I remember being there. I remember her pushing him. I remember his name. Won't say it. But I remember her pushing him into the closet. And she looked like she was going to stab him. And that's when he told her about the whole thing. And this was something I was very used to. I was never treated nice by teachers. I can only recall 2 teachers that actually were nice to me. And they were in high school. The second high school. But even then, there was things about them that I can honestly tell you, Typical Nat Geo, right? She went for the weakest in the herd. Why were they singling you out? Jess, that's the question that is on everybody's mind. I don't know. I have been singled out and disliked by superiors in every format I go to. Every single job except for my current one, my superiors end up hating me. I don't know whether I'm making things difficult behind the scenes and I don't know it. I don't know if it's just the way I am. I don't know. I will tell you, people will dislike me no matter what I do. It's because you're Italian. Rhode Island is Italian. Half the students were Italian. See, I didn't know how little Italians were around the rest of the country until I moved out of Rhode Island. I didn't realize so many people didn't know what Italians were. But when I tell you, I have, to this day, my whole life, and if you know me long enough, real life friends of mine will tell you, many, many people, it's not like you were an ugly child, yes, that mitigates subconscious ugly equals untrustworthy. Right, like, I wasn't the prettiest, but I certainly wasn't hideous. Like, when I tell you guys, I don't know. I don't know what I do to piss people off. I am very opinionated, but I wasn't then. You guys understand, the person I am right now is nothing like the person I was at that time. I was quiet. I was more like Moon. I was a lot more like Moon. I was very quiet. I kept my head down. I didn't show people stuff. I was very independent. I didn't want anyone to do my homework. That's one of the reasons why I got away with not being able to read for so long. Because I would lie. Because I was very independent. I was like, you know what? If I can't figure it out, it's my fault, and that's it. You just breathe and they hate you. It doesn't, girl. You don't know how close that is to the truth. Baby star song, Wallflower, then she lost her fucks to give. Right! 13 years old, I realized no matter what I did, people were cruel to me. And that's when I stopped caring. I was like, I'm being nice. Because I didn't like to raise my hand. I didn't like to be loud. I didn't like to disrupt people. And I didn't like to be a bother. And you know where that got me? Absolutely fucking nowhere. Because I would do all that. I was like, well, if I leave people alone, if I don't bother them, if I stay out the way, they'll leave me alone. Well, let me tell you something. That method don't fucking work. At all. Again, the day my grandpa died was Thanksgiving. I was out for a week. When I came back, they openly mocked me in class and said, what, did the turkey come out and give him a heart attack? The teacher was right there. Like, the same guy that mocked me for being, like, you know, mind you, he was almost the size I am now. And when my cat died, now at 13, a cat dying is a pretty big deal for most kids. I got mocked for that. The cat I'd had since I was 5 years old. Hey, Leah. Teacher probably egged him on too. No, they just said nothing. Or they go on and be like, oh, that's enough, everybody. Not say you're sorry to Cassandra. No, don't bully your fellow students over that. Teachers tend not to care. They just get through day to day. But the thing is, Moon, when you're in a private school as a teacher... Yeah, I know. Choco, you've heard this a lot of times. At 16 for you, I woke up one morning for school. My cat died the night before. Oh my gosh. And that's how it was. And so the thing is, guys, like, no matter how nice I was, no matter how sweet I was, no matter how polite I was, nobody wanted to be understanding towards me. Whenever there was a group project, nobody wanted to work with me. Whenever there was teams, nobody picked. I was that kid. I was not bullied like touch. I don't know what it was. I think I look intimidating. Nobody would ever lay a hand on me. I will say that. I never got like bullied physically. And a lot of times people would just ostracize me. Like, that was the weirdest thing. They were either dudes that were just cruel to me, or they would just ostracize me. And after a while, I was like, I'm just so done with this. It's one of the reasons why I'm not neighborly, and it's one of the reasons why I just don't care. Like, it's one of the reasons why I don't chase friends anymore. Because I'm just like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. And that's why, like, I am perfectly happy with my animals instead. And my God, I don't need nothing else. Obviously, my family and husband, you know, that's not what I mean. Like, that's why if people understand, like, it's very difficult for me to put energy into a lot of people because it's just like, whew, I did it for so long. I just can't do it anymore. But that's where it comes back to on schools. So this is what I knew from schools. This is how I'd always seen teachers. People, and then I had my teachers in high school who would push their politics. Again, we go back to the aquatic-based science teacher. I don't care that you don't like Bush. Can you just teach me about aquifers already? She made it through girls' school only to become a pussy magnet rung. I know. I never made it to the girls' school, but yes. But it's just like, you know... Oh, I did go to an all-girls school. I'm lying. My first high school was an all-girls school. And that one was ghetto, and I was getting bullied there too. Not as bad, but I was getting bullied there. And then I missed a month and a half of school. So I missed 2 months taking care of my grandmother. She had cancer. And then I missed another month because I had the worst illness of my life. Like, it was bad. Fun fact, Mean Girls isn't fiction. It's based off a book called Queen Bees and Wannabes. And it's right, I've heard about that. But yeah, so it's just like, when I tell you guys, this has got a cure for a day, but it's definitely been, and that's why it's like, I love when people say I'm a pick-me. I love when people say that I'm doing it for attention. Or people really have no idea. No idea. And I just find it laughable. I find it laughable. I'm trying to get up the this thingy. Ooh, the next one in the series. Where's my screenshots? There they are. But that's why, in my personal opinion, a lot of the teaching profession ain't shit. And I was fully expecting that video that I said that in to get me all the canceled. Every kind of canceled. Fluorescent depths. Oh no, it's not the blank page. Oh, so you know the K-drama The Glory? I haven't watched it yet, but apparently all the shit that happens in the show are based off real-life cases in South Korea. Oh, God. I went to elementary school private briefly. The kids there were mean, too. One time they tried to block my bathroom door. Scared me and I heard them laughing. I think they were jealous I won a yo-yo. That is probably exactly it. Let me tell you something. So one time there was a girl, and I think I've told you guys this story before. So, whatchamacallit? We were in the bathrooms, and I forgot what it was, but there was a girl who really needed to use the bathroom. For some reason, she couldn't use the other stalls. We only had like 2 or 3 stalls in the whole bathroom on that floor. And she was like, I really need to go to the bathroom. I really need to go to the bathroom. Da, 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 da. And I was like, okay. We went to run in. She couldn't open the last stall. There was no one in there, but they had locked the door from the inside and crawl underneath. Which I don't know if anyone else has had this, because I know that in I know that it's primarily American bathrooms that have it. So if you guys aren't from America, most bathrooms, the doors have a large gap underneath them with little stands on each side. Typically, it's how they are. So there's at least a decent 8-inch to 1.5 foot gap. Usually just a foot. And they do, honestly, Chaco, they're pretty private. I think it's just when you're not used to having any gap in the door, they feel like very open. Americans don't typically look through bathroom doors. Like, we're not standing there at the door peeking in trying to see someone taking a shit. Like, that's just gross. Them doors are more holy than Jesus himself. But anyways, and so we couldn't get the door open. And no one was willing to get on the floor to unlock it for her. And this girl, like, really didn't feel good. So I volunteered. I said, I can get under the door. And so I did. And I got on my belly, and mind you, in a skirt, and I slid under the door, and I unlocked it for her so she could go to the bathroom. My supposed friends decided that that would be hilarious to make a song that everyone would sing to me. Cassie Bassey 2x4. She did the worm on the bathroom floor, then got stuck under the bathroom door. Cassie Bassey 2x4. Private closing doors, minimal lower gap, more like half a, than a full shin. Yeah, but see, if they had that half a shin, no one would be able to get it open. And that wasn't the only song. Like, they made 2 or 3 songs about me. No. Disappointed. You gotta understand. I just had to laugh it off. What was I supposed to do? It was 3-on-1. And they would sing it to me all the time. Which else is it? Then there was Cassie Bassey, the elephant type pig. She jiggles when she walks and she's really, really big. I mean, you gotta give them credit for the rhymes. But these were my friends, mind you. This was my friend group. These were the people that I was best friends with. And that's how I was treated. And they thought it was hilarious, mind you. And I would say to them, none of you are brave enough to go on the floor. None of you are brave enough to help. Just run swinging wild. Now, you can usually open them with a coin in some ways. I didn't want to be crawling on the bathroom floor. Well, pretty sure mine required a key from the, I mean, yeah, they're funny now. But imagine being 11 and not able to defend yourself. And not knowing how to defend yourself. And see, then at home, not trying to rag on you, Phil, but my brother would bully me at home for my weight and how ugly I was. I don't miss toxic friendships. Right, so that's why I'm just like, you guys have to realize, me now, I'm just like, I can't anymore. I'm just not about that life. Fluorescent depths. What the fuck could be fluorescent depths? Oh, it's gonna be so hard. They were 11. That's pretty good. Again, I give them credit. The rhyming was peak. Yeah, 11 and 12 years old, these girls were doing this. I never bothered with frenemy. See, I didn't know what a frenemy was. I just figured I must be a terrible person. That's how friends are. That's what I'm saying. Like, I give them props for the rhyme. They did a good job. I can't deny that. No, I know that. I'm just trying to think of it like I'm getting... Oh, a squid would be good. You're right. Which squid would I use? Yes, Orion. What, baby boy? What? No, don't. Boy. In case you're wondering, guys, he crawled up on the desk. No, sir. Boy. 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 Thank you. Blah. Drool. Everywhere. Well, I've got him right here. This is how you guys know that I'm just the laziest of tools. Boot him out. All right? Like, God. Is he licking the mic? That's just him licking my face. Like, that's just him licking me. Literally. It's crazy. He's just the noisiest licker. What, sir? Don't make that face. He's sitting next to me now, looking all dejected because I'm making fun of him. I swear to God, he knows. He's trying to fix your bruise. He's trying to add to it is what he's doing. Just get shit all over me. He detected sad. Maybe. Just the size of that foot. That's a big fuzzy potato. Boy, it's huge. Like, I want you to look at the size of my hand and you guys all saw his paw. Boy is huge. You know what? As a matter of fact, he walked away all sad. Come here, Ryan. Well, he hopped right back up. Mug brownie, here I come. Come. Greta, you're not Orion. Here, Greta, come here. We're going to show something. Hop up. Jump. Good girl. This is Greta's paw. Okay? There's Greta's paw. Good girl, Greta. No, Orion. Orion, come here. Hey, come over here. Hop. No, come on. Come over here. Hop up. Hop. Good boy. Now, we're going to put your paw over here. Yes. I see you. You don't need to lick. You don't need to lick so vigorously, sir. I have but one face and I don't need any more bruises on it. God. All right, now. Out there. Take it out there, sir. You want a rough house? Here. Go get it. Go get it. Go. Oh, God. You guys can see his fur flying everywhere now. Plus side doggo. Right 110 pounds of muscle. All right, but I gotta turn the tail around now. Come on. You're ridiculous. Oh, stop being nervous. I can call you ridiculous. I measured my smallest dog's paw exactly the same size as a Hershey's Kiss. Oh my God. I don't have any more cats that lick me. They all died of old age. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Who said that? Let me see. Oh, Rachel. No, I've got several kitties. Axel, Calliope. Calliope loves licking. Orion's 110 pounds, but he is all muscle. I don't think he has any body fat on him. This boy is 100% muscle. He is just like fucking jacked. I swear to God. Boy is jacked. Oh, let's look at the squid while we're at it. Pussy magnet. Was it an exaggeration? Oh my gosh. Oh. Can you tell I'm tired? I am so freaking tired. I think I'm gonna do a Humboldt, which can look pretty delicate. I think that'll do good. So, who here has opinions? Because I don't, but I want to see. Who here has opinions about Crowder's divorce? She's going to go right back into the drama. I'm curious because people that I didn't even think would ever talk about Crowder, people that I didn't even think even knew he really existed, are talking about him now. And so he's been unhappy for a while. Right. I don't give a shit. Right. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping to hear that. And here's why. People who never even knew who he was are suddenly talking about him. They're suddenly... I personally am withholding my opinion purely because it is rather messy. There is a lot of missing context, and I'd like to know all the context. Just like with Andrew Tate, I withhold my opinion even though I think he's a piece of shit. I withhold my opinion because I do not want to be wrong later. And so that's why I'm wondering, because so many people have opinions on it. And I don't know. It throws me off. Yeah, some politically YouTube commenter guy. You're not missing much. I feel it's unfortunate. I think people are looking to contextualize things that he said in a weird way. That being said, as someone who nearly got divorced, I don't wish it on anybody. I mean, that's the whole point, is being in poor taste. What I do is in poor taste, technically. See, I want to ask this question, but you're going to roast me for it, guys. Where is the propeller hole? Where is the hole on a... It is right there. Okay, I'm not wrong. Hey, Sky. I just wanted to know if anyone had opinions on him, because, like, most of my followers are Republican like me. Or at least it seems that way. And so I was just trying to figure out if anybody had opinions, because I really don't. I don't like what... That's a really good fucking circle that I drew, guys. I don't care how I did that freehand and on stream. Holy shit. Look at me. See, that's why I didn't ask. I knew Chaco would be the first to point it out. That's what I was curious about, just because, like, so many people who never even talked about him, don't care, were suddenly talking about it, and I was just like, I'm a reformist. Or you made a hole. I was kind of disappointed. Thought he was a funny man. Looking back, he's a narcissist. It's an almost perfect circle, right? It's not completely perfect, but it's almost there. Whatchamacallit it, though. I definitely think when you get to that size, you have to be somewhat of a narcissist. So, like, for instance, Blair White will tell you point blank that she is definitely in love with herself, and she'll say point blank, she's like, she's obsessed with herself. That's... You have to get to be that size and do what he's doing. I feel like it was not shocking to me. That's why when everyone's like, oh, you should try to get on there, you should, like, I didn't, because I knew exactly the energy that would be on there, and I didn't want to be part of that. Even though, like, I'm related to a lot of people like Crowder. Like, Crowder's energy is something that I'm used to. Now, I don't know whether that's a good thing. I am having a lot of cookie moments today. Guys, I am tired. I'm exhausted. But I'm staying on for at least a little while. But, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I look at it differently, because I know a lot of people, not just men, people like Crowder. And so I do see another side to it. And I've also seen some really good people be absolute psychopaths and abusers in relationships. I have. Again, doesn't make it right. But I have seen people who are otherwise really good people turn into monsters in the wrong relationships. And so for me, I feel like that might be the case here, And that's one of the things I want to talk about today, is that, do you think that somebody who's bad in a relationship is a bad person? Or could the relationship be what makes them bad? Like, do you believe that perhaps it's them being with that person? Like, could your ex... How many times have we heard, like, oh, my ex was never that way with me. Why is he so nice and sweet to her or him? Da, 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 da. Do we think that's a possibility? That's something I want to know. That's something I'm curious about. Some relationships are just toxic. I think a person can still be good, but bad relationship, you can poison you while you're with them. That's a good point. So you think that maybe it started out good, but then over time it turned sour? Okay. I think there are definite cases for both. Sometimes the person is just bad. Other times relationships are ill-suited and bring out the worst in each other. See, that's where I see it. Both places can happen. A relationship can absolutely bring the worst in someone. 2 exes ago, the only relationship where it was ever gotten physical. Again, that's where my brain goes. That's how I see it. Sorry, new keyboard, so key positions feel a little weird. Definitely understand. Don't worry about that. Monday, May 15th. Sorry, my boss was asking me a question about whether or not I can attend an event for the restaurant. Never ends for me. Well, I tell you guys, it never ends. And I'm not complaining, because you know what? She is not only my boss, she is my friend, and I'm very thrilled to help out. But at the same time, your girl's tired. But yeah, I guess that's how I see it with this. 2020 also brought out the worst in so many relationships as well. Well, and again, that's around the time his relationship started souring, because she said years, but she didn't say years before the pandemic. Sorry, washing towels by hand. Anyways, Crowder, I'm not shocked, but relationships can bring out the worst. Right. Toxic feeds toxic. That's how things spiral. Anyone else watch true crime docs? Oh my god. It's so bad. I was in a relationship once in high school. The girl treated me like absolute shit. Funny thing about that is there was another girl who adored me and I was too stupid to break up with the other. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I definitely think that the pandemic definitely plays a part. I think that when you whatchamacallit. You know what I forgot, guys? I forgot that when you're doing this, you gotta draw an actual mermaid. I forgot for this one, so I'm gonna draw a mermaid somewhere in the back. Whatchamacallit. But yeah, like, when it comes to relationships, I do think the pandemic really screwed up a lot of people's perception on what's okay. I love true crime, but all right, so this leads into another topic. This actually piggybacks off of Michelle. So Michelle McDaniel, by the way. Michelle was talking about how, like, she has to avoid media because of her anxiety. She was saying it in a recent video. So I'm curious. So now for me, I avoid horror, right? I don't watch sad movies. I avoid horror because I can watch them and I'll be okay, but I don't enjoy it. I don't buy that a relationship will make you a jerk, but I think unhealthy traits can be fostered. Really? If you're not in a relationship, in your dreams, explain. I don't get what you mean, Julian. Can you elaborate on that? So I'm thinking of drawing like a mermaid right here, Chaco. Like coming around. See, I avoid horror because I do believe that when I watch horror movies, as you guys know, I've experienced a lot of paranormal stuff. I do believe it opens up the paranormal to come in. And so I just openly avoid them anyway. But on top of that, I will say that I feel like when you watch too many fantasy versions of it, like when you watch too many fantasy sad films or thrillers or horror, it puts your brain in the wrong mentality. That's our barbecue. Whoops. I know I have a lot of chunk that day. Hold on, I'm getting lost and you guys are answering faster than normal. Hold on, let me see. Can't watch true crimes too much. I have problems with paranoia. Keeps you up. Right. So, all right. So then, piggybacking off of it, I don't like horror. I find many of them lazy, just jump scares mostly. I love a good crime thriller, though. Right. I do enjoy crime thrillers. I like when I'm thinking. That's kind of why I like true crime. My inner child likes knowing that sometimes the bad guy gets caught and justice isn't just a fantasy. That's also very true. A lot of times, what it shows is that they may not get caught immediately, but eventually everything comes to light. And what it also does, it shows patterns on how you can prevent future disasters. Let's see. This is what happened to my favorite Olympian. I think his ex-fiance turned out to be a gold digger and she abused him. He looked sad, but she looked happy. Hold on, my boss is messaging me again. There we go. Ow, fuck, that hurt. I used to hate, like, Chucky, but now I find them hilarious. Well, the older ones, obviously now they're more campy than anything. Oh my god, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Chucky is actually more funny than I used to terrify me as a child. Used to terrify most people. I don't like the new one. Still hate Coraline, though. I like Coraline, but it's fucking scary, bro. It is not a kid's film. Let's see. I love, like, I think one of the reasons I like it because I like animation, but then at the same time, there's plenty of animation that I don't enjoy because I just think it's stupid, like, you know, Up and Inside Out and all that jazz. Oh, also, guys, I know people haven't asked, but there is a reason why we haven't done the Animal Hour the last 2 weeks. Horror's been traveling, so we just decided not to do them during the summer. Sorry I didn't tell anybody. No, Coraline is terrifying. I saw it in cinema. Have it on DVD because my sis likes it. I loathe it. Still scares me. Jump scare is garbage horror. I want that psychological stuff that sticks at you. I also legitimately think that liking horror is common for people with maladaptive, chaotic childhoods. You know? That has some merit to it, sir. That sounds about right. Because a lot of the friends I have that love horror have had really shitty childhoods. Coraline is one of my favorites in the book. There's a whole scene in the basement with the other father where he's melting and begging for forgiveness while trying to kill her. Shit! Figure is missing because the chest cold and now head cold. What? I've only liked few horror movies like or franchises like Hannibal, Bates Motel, Psycho, Evil Dead. Evil Dead I agree with. The rest of them, Hannibal's okay. I prefer, this is where maybe I'm a little weird, I prefer to learn about real cannibals than fake ones. Because the human imagination is so much scarier than real life. I'd rather learn about the real stuff, although sometimes I'll turn on, like, Investigation ID, and damn it. And I get sad. Because these are real people that died. And I always get upset when I find out someone got left alone somewhere. Like, I hate the idea that somebody died alone and feeling like nobody would ever come to save them. That's something that sets with me. Do you podcast? I do not. So my sister-in-law and half my friends really love podcasts. I get the closest I came. I didn't realize Crowder was a podcast. I thought it was a show. That's the closest I came to a podcast. They consider Dark History a podcast. Except I watch the visual version, so it's like... I don't know. Why are you not... There we go, finally, God. I have such a good true crime pass for it. Well, maybe I'll think about it. I just don't like listening to somebody just talk. It's so boring. Did a way more than learning about prions? You mean prisons? Than seeing zombies chew someone's ribs, right? Albert Fish has entered the chat. What? Try putting lukewarm hot water. I am lost. Now you guys are giving me too many cookies. Or maybe my brain is just not functioning enough for this conversations. But yeah, like a lot of my friends love podcasts. And I'm like, it's not really a podcast. It's just a YouTube show. Doesn't Blair have a podcast? Right. And even then, like, can someone explain to me the difference between just making a YouTube video or a podcast? Because it just kind of feels like it's the same thing. Like, I don't see the difference. I don't see the difference. Oh, that degrade the brain. Okay, got you. Usually occurs after eating monkey brains, which causes mad cow. Well, thank God I ain't eating any monkey brains. Damn. Andre Chikatilo was another truly evolution's human being. Who said the recipe back to the parents? I do enjoy the Simon Whistler podcast. Like today I found out. Podcast is audio only. Well, then I guess I don't. See, then I guess I must not watch or must not do any podcasts. Because, like, the only time I watch a podcast is if I can watch the podcast. I have to be able to physically watch what's going on, because otherwise I just tune them out after a while. Like when I turn on somebody to listen to them, it's music. I'll listen to music and I'll be happy with that. Podcasts used to be audio only, but now they're video ones. See, because like I just like right now, my YouTube keeps pushing me to do two things. It keeps telling me to make a membership and to make podcasts. And I'm like, but why? Why? I don't understand why you want me to do that. Not only that, but I don't even know how to or why to, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, and last night, I think I've had this conversation with you guys before. My boss realized I don't like neighbors. Because we had to go to a client's house to pick up a payment for something, right? And we were talking afterwards, and he was saying, the client was saying, oh, well, you know, I told them we don't really need fences around here. You know, we none of us own anything anyways. I was like, okay, whatever. He was pretty much insinuating that, you know, the government owns everything anyway, so what does it matter? And I was just like, okay. And then as he pulled away, I'm like, God, I don't understand why he would even talk to the neighborhood about it. He's like, what? My boss was like, what? And I said, why does he care? Why did he even care to tell his neighbor don't put up a fence or anything like that? Like, it's none of his business. And she's like, well, you're like, you know, it's neighborly. Oh, and she starts going over all the reasons why you should get to know your neighbors. Like, you know, if you need to borrow a cup of sugar, and she was being serious about it. And I was like, yeah, no. She said, what? I'm like, no. If I need sugar, I'll drive into town. She's like, well, what if you don't want to have to drive into town? I'm like, then I'll just do it anyway. Like, I'm very independent in that way. I don't want to rely on some random person. Number one, I don't know where you put your grubby hands. I don't want your sugar. What if you reach into your sugar with your bare hands? No. And then she's like, well, what if you leave the hose running at home? Then I go back home and I turn it off. She's like, you couldn't just have your neighbor go do it? And I'm like, why would I? I don't want him on my property. And she was going over all these things, and I was just like answering on why it's not even really needed at the end of the day for them to be there. And she's trying to tell me how useful it is, and I'm like, I just don't see it. I really don't. I don't see it. There's a thing called Instacart, right? It's like, well, what if you live out in the middle of nowhere? Then I bulk buy. Like, that's how I see it. I don't like people showing up on my property. The thing is, like, neighbors, once you become really friendly, they start feeling like they can come over whenever they want. Like, the only reason I know my next door neighbors, literally the ones right next door to me, and this was after 4 years, okay, mind you, 4 years before I even introduced myself. I saw him out there with the cat, and which is in case you guys don't know, it's a backhoe for tilling up land. And I was like, hey, if I pay you some money, can you till up my part of the land too? That is the only reason we spoke. We have not spoken since. My neighbor on the other side of me got my package on their porch. So he brought it to me. That is the extent of what I need to know about my neighbors. And then she was like, well, what if they're causing a disturbance? And I was like, I don't care. She said, I doubt that. And the thing is, you guys already know that I very much don't care if you cause a disturbance. I really don't. Because I'm going to leave you alone when you're causing one. And you're going to leave me alone when I'm causing one. So, like, my neighbors down the street, the Mexican neighbors, they host a fiesta every weekend. And I'm not joking. They play mariachi music and loud-ass music every weekend. And I just go, eh. Half my neighbors go out shooting any time of the day. And you can hear it. They just load off at 3 a.m., 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Anytime they get the urge to shoot their guns, they're out there shooting. I say nothing. I don't call the cops or complain on anything. I just don't. I live in the idea that you do what you want and I'll do what I want and we will leave each other alone. And she's like, I don't believe it. I was like, it's okay if you don't believe it, but I've literally lived that way in everywhere I've lived. I've had disturbing neighbors. Now, unless you're setting shit on fire, I don't care. I've had my neighbor light the one that returned my trash. I had my neighbor light their trash. It fills my entire yard with the smoke from their trash. I still say nothing. Because I don't care. The only thing I get annoyed about, and that's just because it can physically harm me or my animals, is when my neighbors don't keep their dogs leashed up. That's the only thing I have to complain about. Starts on inadvertently being a good neighbor. That's, to me, that's being a good neighbor. I just simply don't care what you're doing. I don't want to care about what you're doing. Do you, but leave me alone. I don't need to know your name. I will learn your pet's name before I learn your name anyway. And that's the key thing. I don't need to know any of that because you're going to leave someday. Sorry, I had to make sure that line was straight. They're probably going to leave someday anyways. So what does it matter? That's what I don't get. Why do you care about your neighbors? Because they can leave at any time. Do you know the tea culture here? I know of, do you mean like a spot of tea in the afternoon? Yes, I know about that. If that's what you mean. My neighbors do fireworks competitions during the 4th of July. I normally don't care, but my husband is a combat vet and it would freak out my dog. They didn't care, so I stopped talking to them. Because they're going to do it either way. That's the thing. Like, and as a daughter of a combat vet, my dad has just learned to deal with it. And I'm not judging your husband at all, Linda. If you're friends with your neighbor, you'll invite them in for a cuppa and then turn into a gossiping session lasting several hours and several cuppas. Yeah, but see, for me, that sounds like hell. Because Lot Song Sushong, I love and hate it. I love and hate it. I've had it. Isn't that the smoky one? The one that has that smoky flavor? Yep, I have Mexican neighbors that have parties every couple of days. And the thing is, so like, the other day, one of my brother's Mexican neighbors just walked right into his house. Just waltzed right in. And I said to my brother, I'm like, I'm really hoping you fucking punched him in the face. Like, what I don't understand is the people that don't lock their doors. Yeah, the guy apparently thought he was supposed to, either he was drunk or something, and I was like, I don't care. I said, do you want me to go stand outside your house for a while with Orion? I will happily go sit out front with my giant-ass dog, who will very much bark if I tell him to. He does it on command quite well because he enjoys barking. Fucking boundaries. And see, that's the thing. Once you let neighbors in, the boundaries go away. See, my own father doesn't just walk in my house. And even I, hi Holly, even I don't just walk in my dad's house. The only time I just walk in is when my dad, because we have a assigned time that I'm going over, and I'll call him and I'll be like, Daddy, I'm coming over. Dad, I'm coming. That's it. That is it. There is no other time that I'm just going to show up for no reason. I have a key. I still go, Dad, you home? I don't believe in just waltzing into any... The only person allowed to just waltz into my house is my husband. And that's because he lives here. That's it. That's it. My sister does that and thinks I'm just being paranoid when I lock the doors. This after I've lived yesterday at the restaurant. We are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Thank God we had the door locked after we had our meeting. This homeless dude just ran up to the door and started like shaking it, trying to get in. Then he like just pressed himself against the door, glared at us for a second, and then hobbled away. Move out of that complex after roaches got to be too much. Right. She read under a bridge right in front of my complex. Oh. The dude came out and announced while I was away. When was this, Rachel? Had a ram named Julius Caesar who held the cable guy hostage in his own van. Oh, I hate that. I hate that when anybody that's giving you a service just shows up when you're not there. Good job, Julius. Thank God. Oh, listen. If somebody wants me, the one benefit about me being overweight, bitch, go ahead and try. I will drop like dead weight. Try and carry my, well, now 388. Try carrying my 388-pound ass away. Good luck. You're gonna need it. That's how I've always seen it. Like, you know what? You want me? You're gonna work for it. Doors have locks for a reason. Right. FedEx lady got scared of cat squatch rolling in around the front door. Yeah, Choco, did you guys... That's the other thing that's happened to me, guys. The benefit of all this work that I'm doing is I've definitely lost some weight. Now, obviously, because I gain muscle so easily, it jumps 10 pounds to 5 pounds down from one day to the next. Because as you gain muscle, you're going to swell, then it's going to build, then it's going to go back down. It's a whole thing. The one pro is the fact that you're bullet resistant. I'm at least bullet... It's a lot more to go through. Like, if I get shot in the stomach, it'll go straight to the stomach and I'm great. It'll still hurt like a son of a bitch. But at least my vital organs will be a little safer. Telling me I'm trying to get this merman lined properly. Neighbors are right now are renting. They're from the country, and I kid you not, they leave the bottom windows at the front wide open. Don't get me wrong, it's a safe... No, there's no such thing, because you know what the problem is? If everyone knows it's a safe neighborhood, that's exactly when someone will break into the neighborhood. That's it. Some people are like, oh, why are you locking your car? You're in a closed road. Yes. And people know this. Which means somebody could easily come into the neighborhood and try looking through cars. Do you guys not remember? I don't know how many of you have been following me for a while. But who remembers when that dude was standing outside on my porch for a while. I know Chaco's gonna remember it. I had this guy, so I had just gotten through dropping Starman off at work. I forgot why I needed the car that day, but I had needed the car that day. And this dude, I had gotten home, I had let the dogs out, and I was sitting there at the kitchen table, and I forgot what I was eating. I forget. But I was tired, and I was trying to wake myself up, and Orion is standing on the couch, fucking, like, barking his brains out. And I'm like, what is your problem, sir? What is going on? And I finally look up. There's a guy who was standing on my porch for at least 30 minutes waiting at my door because he wanted a ride to work. And I think this was like last spring. And I was like, this was 6, 7 in the morning. I got back at... So Starman goes to work at 6 a.m. I get him there by 5:45. I sat in the car for a little bit, and I think I went and got fast food. I want to say I did. And I was sitting at the table, and I was tired. And this was when I still had the Passat. And the car was not working right. This was right before the car stopped working completely. And I was sitting there, and I'm tired. And this guy, I've got the video somewhere. This guy, now this is where I'm dumb. I walked outside because I was pissed. I'm like, who the fuck is on my porch at this time in the morning? So I went out the side door and I was like, can I help you with something? And he's like, yeah, I just need a ride to work. And I'm like, and? Well, can you give me a ride to work? No, I can't. No. Like, get off my property. And see, this is a guy who had shown up twice before to my property. I don't know why. Like, truly no fucking common sense. I know. Damn. Disappointed. I can't do that. That's knowingly almost killing somebody. Way more coverage. It sticks. But I remember because we thought he was a kid. And we saw on the camera, this was one morning my husband and I were asleep. And when I checked the camera later, I'm like, sir, yeah? Did you see the camera? He's like, why? I'm like, bro, there was someone at the door an hour ago knocking on the door. And he's like, no, I didn't know. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know either. And this guy apparently was having a hard time getting to work. That's not my problem. Should have sent Orion on him. No, because Orion only looks intimidating. He loves people. So it would have been ineffective. Guys, I am starting to fall asleep, though. I don't know if you can tell. I'm kind of getting a little slurry in my words. So I am going to stop here for today. But yeah, that was... Whew, what I tell you. What I tell you. But it's been a... So that's why I'm just, like, not neighborly. Like, at all. Because neighbors just think they can walk up to your door. I thought that was the vodka. God almighty. God, I'm gonna need it. I will be, I know you guys haven't seen a video from me in 2 weeks. This is the longest I've gone without making a video in almost 2 years. And I am so sorry, guys. I'm getting the video out this week. I promise. I promise you can roast me if I don't get it out this week. It'll be out by Saturday. Look forward to the last week of May, which is when I'm going to bust my ass and get a shit ton of stuff done. Stop apologizing.
Make me.
But I am crashing. Slow motion activated. Who needs zombies when you have local smackheads, right? But all right, guys. Well, I love you. Look out for at least my shorts. The shorts are coming out like they're coming out great. But you will see a new video this week, at least a short. I'm gonna get some artwork up this week. And you'll be seeing Mean Horror on Monday. Again, the grand return. Otherwise, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. I love you all. Remember, tell the people that are important to you that you love them and to be safe. So, guys, I love you. Be safe. Yes, please. If you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, share. No napples, though. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. I will talk to you all soon.